Welcome to the Charlotte 49ers 2012 baseball preview. Ryan Rose with you. Of course, we've got head coach Loren Hibbs ready for his 20th season at the helm. 600-plus wins so far and counting, and 5 postseason appearances. I think I kind of want to start there before we get there, though, Coach. We got 2 of your seniors here. We got redshirt senior Shane Brown, who is an outfielder. We've got a catcher / played a little first base / DH, Miguel Rodriguez, another senior on this squad. And let's talk about that trip to Tempe last year. I remember after the conference championship tournament win, sitting in Picasso's across the street here, figuring I thought we were going to Atlanta. You thought Chapel Hill, and we'd heard all kinds of things. They announced we're going to Tempe, Arizona, where you had played in college.
Many years ago.
Yeah, well, the facility is the same for the most part. And just I just remember the energy around the club at that point. And then you get past the cool, we're going to Arizona, and then you go, okay, who's there? Who are we going to play? You get there and you find out that nationally you pretty much match up with the top teams. You knew that going in, but it doesn't matter where this team can get sent. This is a competitive atmosphere that you've kind of built up here over the years of the programs to the point where you're winning postseason games. And I think last year, actual real disappointment that we weren't able to get past that, because you guys are in the mindset that we can win those games, we can move on, we can get to a super regional.
I think the reason why they sent us to Tempe, the feedback that we got was they wanted to keep us as a 3 seed and not put us as a 4, which I think shows respect for our program and what we've done over the years. It was a great experience. We expect to win every time we play. These guys can tell you that. I thought we matched up pretty well with Arkansas the 2 times we ended up playing them, beat them the first game, and then lost to them in the elimination game. I thought we matched up well with New Mexico, although they went 2 and out. I thought they had a great run there at the end, winning the conference tournament and beating TCU to get to the regional. Arizona State was not a good matchup for us. They were so physical offensively, and they kind of beat us up in that second round game. But I think that, the Yankees and the Red Sox would have had a tough time beating them that night. But great experience for our guys. I'm sure these guys will probably talk a little bit about it, some more. We enjoyed going out there to play. We hope if we get back to that level of play this year that they don't ship us all the way across the country again. Maybe we can stay local, because as you know from traveling around with us, we were all over the place the last month and a half. We were everywhere from Philadelphia to Dallas to Tempe to UMass to everywhere in between, and I really was proud of our guys the way we played, at the end of the year, because a lot of teams would have gotten worn down and not played very well. We kind of fought through it, and other than the last 2 days of the season, I thought we really played well and competed well, and it's an experience we'll learn from and hopefully get better this year because of it.
40 or more wins in 4 of the last 5 seasons. Yeah. That's the level that this team is performing at right now. And when you look at this 2012 schedule, this is my 6th year following you guys. This is the hardest schedule in that time, I think, that you've put together this year. So clearly you want these guys to be challenged, but that should pay dividends when it comes time for tournament play.
Well, and we've tried to take advantage of the bye weekend we have in conference play now. Last year we went to Dallas and played Dallas Baptist, which was a top 15, top 16 team in the country. This year we scheduled Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech, who's in everybody's preseason top 10. So we're trying to really take advantage of that bye weekend and play good teams and try to challenge ourselves. And again, the conference schedule is going to be difficult. We got tough road series at Rhode Island, at Xavier, at GW and at Temple. Just a really, really difficult schedule for us this year. But these guys know. They know that that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build the program, continue to play as good a schedule as we can play, and challenge ourselves and figure out where we stack up against the best teams in the country.
All right, Shane. You've got a couple rings. You've been here since 2008.
Yep.
What does it take? What does it take to get to that point, to earn another ring? And is this team that you have configured right now? I know the pitching is pretty much the same, but there were some graduation from the offensive side. What's it going to take for this team to be able to get back to those heights, win the 40 games, and get into the postseason?
I think a lot of it's hard work and practice and in the weight room. And the biggest thing is consistency on the field. We got to stay healthy and stay inside of ourselves to do what we know how to do. And, we're missing, Tilton and Wilson and Shaler from last year. Nobody can replace those guys, but, we got some young guys coming in, some guys freshmen from last year, they're sophomores that are gaining more experience, and they're becoming a lot better players too.
What did you learn about this team in the fall? I know there were some question marks offensively. Where was production going to come from, lineup, things like that? What did you learn some things about this club in the fall?
I learned that, we do have to stay inside of ourselves. We can't, everybody can't hit home runs. We're not that type of team, especially with the new bats. We're going to manufacture runs. We're a quick, fast team that we got to, get on the bases and wreak havoc there and score.
Now, Miguel, you have a unique perspective because you get to handle the pitching staff as well as contribute offensively and run the bases and things like that. Is this team much different from a pitching standpoint when you take out a Brian Hamilton who graduated, and really the core unit is still the same? This was a top 10 ERA last season at 2.81. What do you expect with some of those guys a year older, a year wiser from a pitching standpoint before we talk about offense?
The pitching standpoint, they've been working really hard, so I expect better things. Ross and I had a great relationship last year with them, and we're just going to grow from that, and I expect great things for them.
Now, Ross, who's your catching buddy, I guess would be the one way to put it, led the team in batting average last year. You were one of the guys that were at the forefront of the power numbers. With the, as Shane mentioned, the bat rules changing, power numbers are down, but it's still a part of baseball. It's still part of the game. When you look at this lineup and you look at guys like Corbin Shive, Justin Seeger, yourself, Ross Steedley, there's still a little bit of pop in this lineup.
Yeah, there's some pop in there, but the way we play is not. We don't try to hit home runs. We focus on doubles, and home runs are going to come. They're accidents. Our game is bunt, run, steal. Get on, move over, get in.
I know that this guy here has hit a triple or two in his life. But you, sir, had two last year.
Had two.
And we talked about that in the fall a little bit. There will be a video coming out on our website where we talk about your triples. This guy had two triples last year.
It's unbelievable.
And now, wait a second. Before you say unbelievable, this guy's got a little bit of speed here. Now, that first triple, he looked a little winded. I figured the second one, he was a little more routine for you.
Well, the first one, it helped because the guy crashed into the wall. But the second one was all me. Second one was just in the gap, legged it out.
Speaking of crashing, two guys ran into each other off of the first batted ball you hit, sir, back in 2008 for an inside-the-park home run. And then you finally cleared the wall on a home run. Speaking of things you were able to achieve, as Miguel says it, home runs, the way the game is now, you can say an accident. You put a good swing into a ball. It's hard to accidentally hit a home run now, but doubles is certainly part of this team's game. Getting into the gap and legging out and getting to second. It's got to be a thing you guys are thinking about every time up.
Yeah, doubles are, like you said, home runs are accidents. Doubles, you consistently hit doubles. Nobody can defend a double. We're a quick team, guy on first. We're going to score on a double every single time. You can put yourself in scoring position too. Right,
and the way that your team is configured, Coach, you need one of those doubles, and the next hit gets the guy in, because the way this team's put together, 2-3 runs hopefully is enough with this team the way that the pitching is configured for you guys.
And again, just really proud of both these guys and all of our senior class because they've experienced a lot of good things. We talked about in the preseason they got a chance to be really special as a class and go to 3 NCAA tournaments if we can improve and play at that level. So. These are two great representatives of our program, as well as all of our seniors and the majority of our guys in our program.
Well, you've got a good balance, I think, of talent at each class level. When you look down your lineup, you've got some outstanding juniors. You've got some guys who were freshmen last year that should contribute mightily, or whether it be Barnett or some of the offensive guys. I think, from a coaching standpoint, you've got to be appreciative of the fact that at each class you've got leaders on that team.
Well, that's a great point, and I think that's a testament to to Brandon Hall, who's our recruiting coordinator, and Chris Rochelle, who works with our position guys, and even Brett Hall, who does a good job with with our on-campus visits and showing people around. Those guys work tirelessly in the summertime. We've got a good plan. We've identified guys that we think can come in and play for us. And, we've got a really good situation where each class has about the same number of players. Our guys have done well academically. We had 23 guys that had a 3.0 or better in the fall semester. And it's just part of the process of developing guys like these two guys over a 3, 4, 5-year period of time.
Well, you're not a flash in the pan. 40 wins in 4 of the last 5 years, getting it done. And you can catch these guys. We have a big slate of home games coming up this year at Robert and Miriam Hayes Stadium. hit us on the website, www.charlotte49ers.com, and we will see you out at Robert and Miriam Hayes Stadium this spring, where we're hoping to set another attendance record. The last 2 years have been outstanding, and I know you guys as a group feel that crowd when they can get into it. Maybe find another win against a top 7 program this year.
Make it 5 years in a row. That'd be a good thing.
That would be awesome.
We're going to try.
All right. Thanks for the visit. I know the season's about to get going, and we hope you guys wish you guys the best of health. And it is so much fun to watch that baseball team play. I tell you that.
Thanks for having us.
That's head coach Loren Hibbs and 2 of our senior class, Shane Brown, Miguel Rodriguez. You can catch them at Robert Miriam Hayes Stadium coming up this season. Go Niners. We will see you down on the field.